you will experience this G-force. And so the ship took off. I was thinking to myself, this is where I want to go. I want to go out and see the Milky Way galaxy from a distance. And then the ship started to accelerate. And man, it was almost unbearable. It was about ready to pass out. And so next thing I know, we're transversing these different dimensions. And it was like flipping through the pages of a book.
Okay.
Is the only way I can describe it. And then all of a sudden we were just sitting out in space, and I could see through the front of the ship, I could see out through it, and I could see the Milky Way galaxy off in the distance. And this only happened in like what seems like a split second. It was just, everything was just so quick. It was unbelievable.
Wow. Interesting. You talked about the pillar of light, that he comes sort of out of this pillar of light that appears in your room. You had one incident where they seemed to come through a portal in the wall, or what appeared to be a portal. Can you tell that story?
Yeah, that happened much earlier, and before I met LB.
Yeah.
And I come home late at night one night, went to bed, and right after I got in bed, I became paralyzed. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
And then I found myself standing in the middle of my bed, kind of standing through my body. It's really weird, hard to explain.
It's almost like the out-of-body experience thing, correct?
Yeah. This was the first out-of-body experience that I've encountered.
Okay.
And so I'm standing there, and I'm kind of panicky. I thought I died, is what it felt like. And I was trying to get back into my body.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I'd try to reach and grab it, try to sit down into my body, but nothing, I just go right through it. And this big amber light, real bright light, started shining through the windows.
Okay.
And then this portal opened up where the wall was, and I could see through it. It was brightly lit in there, and there was these little grays in there. And at the time when this happened, I didn't know what a gray was, but I know now what a gray was, and that's what these were. And one of them, well, actually two of them came out and stood by the bed. Another one came out and was holding what looked like a giant salamander.
Yeah, you told me, yeah.
And he came up and put it right in my face. And for what reason, I have no idea. And these entities were just grays. This LB didn't have anything to do with this. And the last time I told you about this, I had another experience similar to this in 1999.
Okay.
It was basically the same thing happened, but there was no portal.
So the same beings came?
The what?
The same beings came to you?
No, there was no beings. It's just I went to bed and I got up out of bed, but my body was still in bed.
Oh, I see.
And I was standing next to my bed, and this big amber light came through, started shining through the windows again.
Okay.
But this time there was no portal.
Okay. So you've had 3 dozen. Can you maybe describe what happens in your out-of-body experiences? You've had 3 dozen out-of-body experiences, correct?
God. Yeah, I've had lots of them.
So do you have spiritual? Do you go places, or what exactly happens? Because I've always wished I could have one of these, and I consider you kind of lucky that you've been able to experience this, because it gives you the impression that there is more than the physical body when you're suddenly outside your body.
Yeah. On one of them, usually what would happen, is, I'd sit down on the couch, I'd be mentally tired.
Okay.
And next thing I know, I'd be up above my body looking down at myself, either in my bed or on the couch. And then I just basically think, what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, and just in the blink of an eye, I'd be there.
Wow.
And on one trip, I wanted to go to the dark side of the moon, the backside.
Okay.
And and just like that, I was there.
Wow. So what's there?
Well, what I saw was there was a big platform, and there was actually beings on there.
Okay.
On the dark side of the moon. And there was this big platform that had these perpendicular lines going across it. And there was this big machine that looked like a forklift. And there was a entity operating it.
Okay.
And there was buildings around with what looked like vertical tanks with lines and attached to one another. Kind of reminded me of a oil refinery.
Wow.
And so I wanted to get closer. So I started getting closer to this being on this machine, on this platform.
Yeah.
And he stopped, got out, and I know he noticed me. Yeah. He knew I was there.
Okay.
Scared the heck out of me. So I said, I want to go back. And then I was back and slammed into my body pretty hard.
Wow. That happens often, correct? Where you're sort of fall into your bed, or that kind of thing where you're...
Well, it started that way at first. It was real violent to get back into your body, but then it turned into where it was, you don't even notice it. It's just a real smooth transition.
Okay. You're learning how to do it. Are all the, do you have being encounters in all your out-of-body experiences, or how often would you encounter an entity or a spiritual being or whatever in your out-of-body experience?
Probably in about 70% of them.
You have a being, is that right?
Yeah. The first time I had an out-of-body experience, not the one with the portal.
Yeah.
But was in, I think it was just right after I started having experiences with LB.
Okay.
And I went to this, it was a gray colored realm, dimension. It was almost like a real thick fog.
Yeah.
You couldn't distinguish between top, bottom, sides. You couldn't see anything solid to stand on. But I was in my astral body.
Okay.
I could see my arms and my legs. And then as I started doing this more and more, I would be in it was like a light. And then I had a couple, 3 or 4 experiences like that. And then the latest experiences I've had out of the body, I was totally invisible. There wasn't any lights or anything.
Okay.
It's like I was just nothing but pure energy.
Wow. Fascinating. You're a good artist. I found a lot of experiences are good artists. Have you drawn some of this stuff for your book? Some of the experiences?
Yeah. I'm gonna try it, but the medication that the heart doctor's given me, it's given me the shakes in my finger, in my hands.
So can you take over the screen? Can you try it just to see what happens? because then on the screen, if you look on your screen in the middle there, you'll see a little green sort of a box in the middle of the screen at the bottom. If you take your cursor, there should be a little file folder, a little green file folder. If you click on that, it will bring up your desktop, and whatever is on your desktop, we'll be able to see. So if you've got any photos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just click on that little green box, and everybody get to see what's on your screen.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Desktop.
Have you seen
files? I haven't done this. First time I've done this.
Okay. Yeah, in the middle of the screen, where you see my photo, you'll see a green file folder. There's a chat. There's a manage participants. Right in the middle, there's a green file folder there.
Green file folder.
There it says share. On the bottom of this.
Oh yeah. Share. No, it's.
Yeah, if you go share, and it'll share your screen. Just click on that and see what happens. Your screen. Yeah, here comes your screen. Okay, so now I can see your desktop.
Oh, okay. All right. I see.
So now we can talk in the background, and whatever is on your desktop, if you want to show a photo or something, you can actually show us a photo or whatever you want to show us on your computer.
Oh, okay. I was gonna back to the out-of-body experiences. I've had 3 of them where my mother showed up.
Wow. And she was deceased?
She took me to where she was.
Wow.
And showed me.
Tell me about that.
And it was beautiful. It was like it's like what they talk about in church, what heaven is like.
Wow.
Real beautiful gardens, vivid colors, buildings that look like the temples.
Wow.
And she took me in to the one that looked like, there was a building there. It was real small. But when we went in, it was bigger on the outside than what it looked on the out. It was bigger on the inside than what it looked on the outside.
Wow. That's commonly described. Did your mother communicate? Was she talking to you while this is going on?
Yeah, telepathically. She was talking to me. She says, I wanted to show you this. And she says, every person on Earth has a room like this inside of a building like this.
Wow.
And there was pillars on both sides of the walls, and there was these big portraits hanging on the walls. There was like 3 of them on each side, and these portraits were what they were was scenes from my mom's life.
Okay.
And she says that everybody has a room like this. Your dad has a room like this, and my dad's already, he's passed away.
Okay.
And this portal opens up, and I can see in there, and I can see my dad in there, and it's another room just like the one I'm in. And then she says, your grandmother and grandfather have a room like this.
Wow.
And I got to see them. And down at the other end of the room, there was a table, and it had these crystals sticking up. And my mom told me that every person on Earth has a crystal that has their entire life's history embedded into this crystal.
Okay, tell me about that, because I was just talking to someone at coffee this morning, because that's important. Can you go as much detail as you can about this crystal story?
You bet.
Yeah.
And so we both kind of, we weren't walking, we were just kind of gliding. We glided down to where this table was.
Okay.
And I was looking at these crystal sticking up, and there must have been 50 of them on this table.
Okay.
And my mom told me that you don't have a crystal yet until you die,
Okay.
and you come over to the other side.
Yeah.
And she told me that even the animals that you've had have a life's history on a crystal.
Wow.
And so when I was looking at them, and I was thinking of we had a Keeshond dog when we lived in California.
Okay.
And I just thought of that, and this crystal comes slowly rising up off the table. And in my mind, it was like a video of this dog that we had, this pet dog, from birth clear till when he died. And what's weird is the last time we saw this dog, we didn't know what happened to him. He just disappeared one morning. And what I saw in this video of him in my mind was the neighbor across the street had shot him with a shotgun.
Oh my goodness. That's fascinating. I'll send you the material. I'll send you the material that will back up that story. Two different stories about the crystal, one from an alien and one from the spirit world. I mean, I think that's one of the most important stories. Make sure you get that one recorded, because that's a critically important story that is backed up by other evidence, and that's not something people are going to make up. So when you're looking at the crystal, do you have to look at it at a certain angle, or how does the
No, I just I looked at it basically from the top, looking down towards the side of it.
Okay.
And all you have to do is just think of a person,
yeah,
or a loved one, or a friend or anybody, and a crystal will rise up, and it's like a video going on in your mind, and it all happens like within about a second. It's unbelievable.
That's an incredible story. Getting to a lot of people don't realize that there are death has part to do with this, that there are dead people that appear on the ship. Dead people are brought on, or dead dogs and stuff like that. Some people are sort of offended. And I think that's maybe something you've experienced, that there is this connection between our loved ones that are died, the spirit world, and what's going on here. It's not just simply ETs coming from another planet. Would you agree with me on that?
I would agree with you on that. Yeah. One thing that I've been doing since this is I've really got into the paranormal pretty heavy.
Okay.
And especially into EVP.
Okay.
And I've been trying to contact LB through EVP.
Oh, cool.
And I've actually been getting some responses.
Wow.
But the thing about EVPs, though, you never really know who you're talking to. It could be anybody.
Yeah. But you have worked on this for what, 2 decades? You've been working on EVPs?
Yeah, for about 2 decades.
And you've got them all on tapes. You've got it all cataloged.
I have got, oh yeah, I do. I've got them on an auxiliary hard drive.
Wow.
But I want to put them on the internet. But there's, without being able to attach a audio file, you can't. It doesn't work very good. Okay. When you try to put them in a video, you can knocks the sound down. You can barely hear them.
Oh yeah, it's a technical issue. When you saw your mother, when you have these experiences, is she as physical as like a real being, like when you're talking to her?
One time, I seen her in her body, but the other 2 times that I've had her come up to me, she was invisible. You couldn't see her, but you knew she was there. You could feel her energy. You she would talk to you telepathically.
Okay, which comes to the aliens. Like, how do you know which is a male? You mentioned there was a female alien in the ship and a male alien. Do you sense it by their appearance or by sensing that there's a female or a male?
It was totally by sense.
Yeah.
The energy they put out. You believe me, when this happens to you, you know if they're male or female.
Interesting. Yours got such an interesting story. What's the name of your book?
This is what's neat. I've been contemplating on what to call it.
Okay.
So I've been meditating at night and asking LB to help me with it. And this, in a dream, the name came up, Alien Protocol.
Wow. There you go.
So I'm probably going to use that.
Wow. Okay. Have you got any photos? You've got your screen, your desktop there. Now try to find
let's see here. Desktop.
Yeah, like anything that I can see your cursor moving around there. So just click on.
Hang on. There's sign up is free. All this is saying is sign up for Zoom.
Yeah, it should be at the bottom of the screen. Go to the bottom of the screen and just or push escape. That'll take that screen off. If you just go to the bottom of the screen, you should be able to go to your push on the top top right hand side. Minimize this window. Don't close it. Don't close it, but just minimize it.
Yeah.
So that, and then you should be able to see your other stuff. Okay. Here.
Okay.
There you go. Now you got your desktop. So whatever you click on, even minimize the window even more. Minimize it to the little, so it goes down to the bottom there. That little.
Okay.
And so now you're on your desktop. So whatever you pop up on your desktop, I can see your little raccoon. Is that a raccoon or what is that?
Oh, that's the Incredible Mr. Fox.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've seen that movie or not. No. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Oh, come on.
Are you still having trouble with your computer? You're having trouble with your computer at one point, right?
Yeah, this darn thing. Okay. All right. See that?
Yep.
Okay. The one encounter I had where he helped heal my back.
Okay.
Right after he worked on my back, he had me hold this device.
Wow.
And he told me, do not set it down. Do not let go of it.
Wow. And
through the whole rest of the encounter, I held on to this thing.
Well, he's working on your back?
No. Right after he finished working on my back.
Okay.
And what it is, I have no idea. I asked him what it was, what it did, but he never answered me.
Wow.
So I say he's very vague with this stuff.
Why do you think he's vague? Like when you ask him where he's from or stuff like that, is it not your time, or what's your impression of why he doesn't answer certain questions?
I don't know. That's been one of the things that's been troubling me all these years. I want to know what it is that's going on, and they're not telling me. It's like I have to do what they want.
Yeah.
But what I want doesn't matter.
Wow.
And right at the end of that encounter, I was thinking, oh boy, I'm going to have something to show people when I wake up. And then when I woke up on the couch in the living room, I was looking for that, and I never could find it.
But he did say to you at one point that you would, when the time was right, the material would come into your head, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but one thing he did answer, in one encounter, I asked him where they were located on Earth.
Okay.
And they told me, and gosh darn, I'm getting ahead of myself. I need to go back and tell you that in all these encounters I've had with them, they were making me sit and watch symbols appear.
Oh, okay. Talk about that.
And these symbols, was sitting in this armless chair, and they were showing these symbols on this wall in front of me. And there would be rows of six, three thick, with six symbols in them, and they would change about every 2 seconds.
Okay.
And they told me I had to watch these.
Wow.
But I had to learn it, whatever it was.
Wow.
I don't remember them. I don't remember what the meaning of them are, but I remember the symbols and watching them.
Have you tried to, is that in your book? Do you draw those, some of the symbols?
Yeah, I've got some of them drawn, and I'm going to put them in the book.
Exciting.
But this one encounter I had, I asked them where they were located.
Okay.
Located at on Earth, and these symbols appeared in my mind, and I could decipher them. I knew what it said. It said Siskiyou.
Okay. What does that mean?
And the Siskiyou Mountains in Northern California up by Mount Shasta.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And they said, this is where our base is located, one of our bases, and where we have some of our different ships. And they told me that your government is trying to find us, but they'll never find us because we're in a different dimension.
Okay.
But in the Mount Shasta area of the Siskiyou Mountains,
Wow.
Northern California.
And so you mentioned, the afterlife thing. Is there, are they going to be there when you leave this earth? Are they around all the time, or what do you interpret there?
Elby took and showed me the highest plane, astral plane.
Wow.
And he said, this is where, when you go, when it's my time to leave the earth, this is where I was going to go. And it was a lot like it is here now, but there's no cars, no freeways or anything like that, no jet planes. But and the building, everything was just totally awesome there. The buildings were all rounded. There was a round building like the craft that I saw back in northern Utah there. And the colors were so vivid and brilliant. And it was just a really, really neat looking place.
Do you believe that he's been there before you were born and will be there after you're born? Is he like longer lifetime, or they live in a spiritual world where they really don't die? What's your impression of that?
I've often thought about that. It don't look like to me they age, so I don't know if they live forever. I think they seem to be both spiritual,
okay,
and physical.
Yeah.
And
because you did mention that you had been given sort of a life, they had chosen you from birth, as if this was planned with you before. Do you have any pre-birth recollections of coming into the world?
No. The furthest back I can remember is laying in a crib, looking through the wooden bars.
Yeah.
Like a convict in prison. That's as far back as I can remember.
Okay. Wow.
Let's see.
Go to the next photo here.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, for Pete's sakes, come on. Where's the go back button? It's gone. Pictures. Oh, for Pete's sakes. I'm sorry. I'm having a tough time with this.
Well, maybe close that the top window there. Just close the window that you've got open there, and you open it again. It should go back to your, or you can escape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there you're back to your.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Make sure you show one where you're drawing, because you're a pretty good drawer. You're a pretty good artist.
Yeah. Yeah, I will. I'll have to. Okay, this is a mark that after one of my abductions.
Yeah.
That showed up on my right hand, left.
Sounds like a triangle.
Yeah. Well, it's like a diamond shape.
Oh, I see.
It's weird.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it's got this little one down here. This was taken 3 days after I got it.
Okay.
At first, there was just 4 holes there.
Okay.
And this is kind of scabbed over here. But
how long does it last for?
That lasted for about maybe 2 weeks, and then it was gone. And let's see here. Okay, and then this is a good one. Okay, this is the t-shirt I was wearing when LB was working on me.
On your back?
On my back.
Okay.
And these were 2, I'm assuming they're blood marks.
Okay.
But they don't have the color of blood. And when I woke up and the next morning, I went and took a shower. And when I took my shirt off, I noticed these 2 marks here.
Wow. And
I folded it up, put the shirt away, and then pulled it out like a year later. Yeah. And they were gone. Disappeared.
Wow. That's interesting. Have you had any other weird, you mentioned weird experiences like stuff flying around or disappearing?
Yes.
And the clothes, have you ever had the clothes put on backwards, these kind of weird things to report?
Yeah, in California, right after my Riverside experience with the tall, skinny being.
Yeah.
I started having weird things happen, things moving, psychokinesis.
Yeah.
Or telekinesis. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
And things would move by themselves, and started seeing spirits, shadow people.
Okay.
Just
wow.
It was a never-ending story. It's just everything paranormal, I think, is related to one another.
How long did the fear last? If it starts with fear, did you sort of get over it, where you were entertained by it, where it didn't scare you anymore?
Yeah, it was. When I was young in elementary school, it was real scary. It scared the heck out of me. I didn't know how to cope with it.
Yeah.
And one thing that I experienced when I was in the 4th grade, there was when I'd walk home from school, we had to go through there was a eucalyptus tree forest. This is in Southern California.
Yeah.
And there was sometimes be a being in there. And I started calling it light bulb head. Because you ever watch the Betty Boop cartoons?
Yeah.
Henry.
Yeah.
kind of reminded me of him, of
Okay.
Henry. And then one day he took me, and he took me to this big vacant open area
Okay.
in Southern California and made me lay down. And I don't know how long I was there, but when I woke up, it was getting dark, and got up and ran home as fast as I could. Things like that. Another time on the playground in the 4th grade,
Wow.
I was showing people, my friends, this bump I had on my ear.
Okay.
And there was I felt something inside my ear, and I pulled out this, what looked like a paper covered spring.
Wow.
And the teacher came over and slapped it out of my hand, and then told me to quit picking at my ear.
Wow.
So I was standing there, and then this man showed up, where he wore a black suit. I don't know where he came from, but he showed up, and he called me by my name, and he told me to quit messing with my ear.
So how was he dressed? Like it's like a Men in Black type thing?
Yeah, that's exactly what he looked like.
You've got one of the most incredible stories I've ever. You got one of the. Make sure you finish the book. It's an incredible story you've got. Okay,
Yeah,
let's go to the next.
it's all in the first chapter.
Wow.
But then I started having these darn nightmares of me standing in this eucalyptus little forest. It was just a little area where they had water tanks in the city.
Yeah.
And there was eucalyptus trees and ivy all over the place. It was a real thick area, just a green area that they didn't put any houses in or nothing. And I would have these nightmares of me standing by myself in the middle of the night in this area.
Yeah.
And then I'd just run home as fast as I could. And when I got home, there'd be nobody there. I'd be by myself. I'd have these dreams quite a few times. I've even had them quite recently still.
So how often would you have experiences now in terms of? Are they still very interactive with you? Are they helping you with the book? I guess that's another question.
He is. I think he is. I'm pretty sure he is. He's. I've asked for help on how to get started with it.
Okay.
And I'd get up in the morning and I'd sit down and I'd just start typing away.
Wow.
And I really do believe he's helping me.
Wow. Okay, let's go to the next photo. Have you got a photo? Have you got a drawing that you did of him?
Oh, I don't have a drawing of him yet.
Okay.
But let's see here. All right. This one here, see those marks and the bruise right there? Okay, this one.
Maybe go to the top where the window there, and make it bigger. The top, it has the 100% there, and make it.
Oh.
See if you can make it. Oh, there you go. Okay, there you
Yeah.
bigger. Okay.
It's a little blurry when you blow it up. That's how come I had it so
well,
small.
I can see it. It's like four in a row, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I took this with my cell phone because, living by myself, it's hard to take a picture of yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
But
and we explain what this is about.
Okay, I had a dream. This is during the time between 2008 and 2010 when I was encountering Elby.
Yeah.
I had this dream that had these grays. They had me on a table and they were sticking this tube, had a big ball on the end of it, down my throat into my stomach. What it was, I don't know what they were doing, but when I woke up the next morning, I went to take a shower and I noticed that, and it wasn't on me before.
Wow.
But that's just one.
It's incredible. We're doing this. I should mention Ron Johnson is with me today, and we are here on Super Bowl Sunday, and Ron is doing the Super Bowl UFO story for me. This is incredible.
Oh, okay. And this one,
Okay, try to blow that one up. There you go. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that one there is right after LB worked on my back when I woke up the next morning on the couch,
Okay.
and I had the two spots on the stains on my shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, this is when I took a shower. I noticed this on my right elbow or upper arm.
Yeah.
Elbow, upper arm, and this is okay. They're hard to see, but there was a hole here in the center and on the end.
Okay.
Real small hole.
Okay.
And I also had the same thing on my foot.
Wow.
Right here.
It's exactly the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any idea what they're doing? Is this just for you to remember, or did they ever explain? Did you ask them about why they're doing this?
Well, I've asked them, but they, like I say, they never answer me.
It's not your time.
It's like they don't want me to know or something.
Yeah, that's an important point, though, to point out that they're not really telling you everything. That they're making you sort of figure it out yourself.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But right about, let's see, when was that? Right after my last encounter where I flew the ship, I had this dream that LB, he came to me as a wolf.
Okay.
And he told me, and I got face to face with this wolf, and he told me that from now on, when I come to you, I'll either come to you as a spirit or as a wolf.
Wow. This is only just recently?
Well, this was in 2011.
Okay. Okay.
And since then, I haven't had any more contact with him other than in dreams. And
but he did visit you in the hospital, correct? You said that?
He did. He visited to me in the hospital when I was in the heart ICU unit.
Okay. You should point out to people your heart, you had a major heart attack, a major condition.
Well, no, I got heart disease. It's LBBB.
Okay.
Left bundle branch block.
Okay.
And my left ventricle isn't getting a signal from my brain.
Okay.
My right is, but
Okay.
the left is. That's why they had to put a pacemaker in me.
But it's pretty serious stuff. And so he comes to you in the hospital, correct?
He did, but all he told me was my next visit, I will be from when I come to take you home.
Take you home. That's where I was sort of mentioning that thing where I'm wondering whether they're part of the afterlife spirit world where they may actually be coming from that, because they're giving you interactions with your mother, with the spirit world, and they're talking about taking you home and stuff. And that's where I think you and I have, I've asked you a lot of questions about this recently, about what are we really dealing with? Is this really an ET or is this a spiritual type experience?
Yeah, I believe I'm beginning to believe that they are spiritual.
Yeah, because they can, as you pointed out, they can come as a wolf, as a gray, as a a human type thing, as a man in black. I mean, they can sort of appear as whatever they want. It's not like you're seeing the same thing every time, or even like balls of light where they're not even visible. I mean, so you see this. I think your case is very important in terms of the different types of encounters you had with a being that's sort of showing you that they can screen image, I guess you'd call it, correct? If you're coming as a wolf, you're screen imaging.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then after here, most recently, I've been been seeing entities appear in the house, but I think they're more observing than what LB was doing.
Okay.
There's a little one that looks like a little gray. It's only about a foot and a half, maybe 18 inches tall.
Wow.
I've seen him twice in my house. I was doing dishes one night and walked in to put a tape or DVD in so I get some noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I walked into the living room, there's this reptilian looking being standing in my living room, and totally had a total feeling of love, but was wearing what looked like a cloak, a cape.
Would that have a hood
with
on
a
it?
high collar. What's that?
With a high collar? Did it have a hood on it or just a high
Yeah,
collar?
he had a high collar.
That's weird because that's what people describe. Did he have anything under it? Like, did he, I was asked the
He
question.
had a medallion. He was wearing a medallion that had it was gold colored, and it had a big red, looked like a stone in the middle of it. It was round.
Have you drawn that? Can you make sure you draw that for me? I'll give you a crossover in the
You bet.
spirit world that talks into that. If you can draw that for me, that's very important. I've never heard you tell that story of the reptilian.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, I asked about the sex organs. I mean, if he's got this coke, do you see any sort of indication
Nothing.
that he's
No
male or female?
indication. No indication at all. Unless they have something different than what we humans have. I don't know.
You've had a lot of different beings. I mean, you've got reptilians, this little tiny one, LB, the Greys.
Yeah.
How many beings would you have had over your lifetime in terms of different types of being encounters?
8.
8.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you've got this pretty well documented as well. I'm very impressed.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got to get this book done.
Anything you need, I'll help you. We'll do whatever we can to, if you need even just to sort of put it in audio, the chapters you don't. So we can transcribe it for you and you can edit it or whatever. It's just so you've got it down. What are you doing with your files? Like in terms, because your health, you've got your health concerns. Have you got a place where all your EVPs and all your files are going to go? If
no, I haven't really thought about that.
Yeah.
But that's something I need to think about.
Because you do have quite a collection of one man's experience with this. It's almost like you've been chosen over your whole lifetime to tell some sort of story and tell the world something. And so.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, what it is they want me to do.
Yeah, as we all are doing the same thing around. We're all trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, heck. Okay. You've seen, let's see here. You saw this one.
Well, yeah, we'll expand it. Some people may not have seen that. I put it on the internet. I put it on Facebook, but maybe, okay, now this is important because, again, a lot of people will say, here to report the helicopters that your experiences, and people think, it's the black ops, it's the government watching you, whatever. And you point out here, which a lot of experiences point out, that there's a UFO beside the helicopter. I mean, the two are together, and then you start wondering, well, is this really a helicopter or what is really going on here? So explain this situation and the helicopters.
Okay, I was in the house. This is right after my mom died, like about 3 weeks.
Okay.
And I was in the living room sitting on the couch, and I got this real strong urge. It was like a premonition to go outside, grab my camera and go outside. So I did. I went outside with my camera and I sat in one of the lawn chairs we had out in the front yard. And then pretty soon I seen this white thing go zipping by.
Okay.
Looked like a white orb.
Yeah.
And so I quit. It was moving pretty fast. So I quickly put my camera up, snapped a photo of it. And I didn't know for sure if I got it or not until I went and downloaded it up onto the computer. And then pretty soon, right behind it, there was a helicopter following it. But I couldn't get the two. They were too far apart. I couldn't get the two in the same photo. I have a picture of the helicopter that was following it also.
Yeah.
But this orb has been following me for years.
Wow.
I've had another experience where I had a premonition to go out into the backyard on the back porch at night.
Okay.
And I saw this, I don't know, a sphere. It was almost looked translucent looking.
Yeah.
And moving real slow. And as soon as it got above the house, there was two little ones come out of it.
Wow.
And that's the same night. It was like 2 hours after that I had an abduction.
Okay. So
And
these things are connected. I mean, in terms of people looking at helicopters, and then you see the connection to your UFO encounters, and you see that they're probably all linked together, probably all related.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've seen this thing traveling to Manti, Utah, going up over the mountain.
Okay.
Where I live now in East Carbon, I've seen it up here many times, flying over the house. And one time, my neighbor was sitting on the porch with me one night. We were drinking a beer.
Yeah.
And this orb, the same one that I've been seeing all the time, come across the sky real slow. And then as soon as it got overhead, it just shot off and was gone in like just a millisecond. And then other times I've seen them, they come over close to where the house is, and then they make an immediate 90-degree turn, and then they go straight down. But
Yes.
I've had many people with me that have seen it also.
Wow. Yesterday I had a rabbit hole meeting where people were discussing orbs. Have you had orbs in the house and around the house and stuff like that?
Yes, lots of them. Back when I was contacting with LB,
Okay.
I would have this translucent little orb. It looked like it was about 3 inches in diameter. And I was seeing it all the time in the house. And it would usually come across the floor, go up the corner of the wall to the ceiling, and then across the ceiling, and then disappear into the wall on the other side.
Wow.
I've been in bed and I've had orbs appear on my chest, great big red orbs.
Wow.
I've had, I see them all the time. I don't see them so much now. This was mainly when LB was contacting me.
Okay.
Between 2008 and 2010. But okay, the time at Fort McDowell when you were there,
Okay.
and me and Marley was there.
Okay.
Okay, you remember? Was you at the banquet
I
dinner?
probably was. I don't remember it, but I was probably there. Yeah, I would have been.
Okay, I was there, and we were waiting for him to open the door. And while we were there waiting, it was weird. I just, my whole body started buzzing
Okay.
at a real high frequency.
Okay.
And slowly everything started changing. It was like I was looking through my eyes, but I was looking through a thermal imaging
Okay. Okay.
camera.
Yeah.
It was really weird. Everybody, I started seeing these different colors and these auras around everything.
Wow.
Around people, around the chairs sitting there, the walls. And it lasted for about maybe 3 minutes, and then it went away.
Interesting.
I have no idea what that was.
Interesting. You've had a wonderful life. I mean, do you feel honored that you've been able to experience this kind of stuff? Because not many people get to experience, let alone one event, and you've had hundreds of events.
I do. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I consider myself special
I agree.
because of this.
That's why I talk to special people like you, because if you want to know the answer, you got to talk to the people who are talking to
Right.
whatever this intelligence is. You can
Yeah.
look at all the videos you want, all the photographs, take all the medals you want, but until they talk to the special people, Yvonne Smith used to call them the chosen. These are the
Yeah.
chosen, and I agree. They've been chosen to been given a message, to deliver a message, whatever. And we got to talk to people like you, and that's why I think your story is so important. And I hope it gets out. And believe you me, I will do everything I can to promote your story. It's one of the better, more meaningful stories there is out there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've got so many things happen to me over my lifespan. It's volumes,
Yeah.
and it's just hard to put all this together.
And under the conditions with your health situation, where
Yeah,
you've got to do it quickly. You've got to, you've got these other doctor's appointments and constraints and stuff like that. So that's why I said, if anything you need help, I'm here. I will find some way to help you do whatever you got to do if you start running into situations where you're tired and you can't work and stuff like that. We'll do whatever we can to help you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting there. Getting there with it.
Beautiful.
Let's see. What the heck was I gonna say? Let's see. Pull that one out. Oh, okay. Here's one. Okay. Oh, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, it looks like a flying saucer.
Yeah.
A fat flying saucer.
Well, in 1997, I got a job in Hawaii.
Okay.
As a heavy equipment mechanic.
Okay.
And had an experience over there with a craft that looked just about like this, like walnut shape.
Okay.
And I was leaving my boss's house in Mililani, which is in about the center of the island.
Okay.
And I lived in Waipahu
at
the time. And I don't know why, but instead of taking the freeway back home, I took this little back 2-lane road. And
do you think they may have, do you hear the stories that they get you to drive down these back roads? Do you think?
Yeah, I think I was, I think I was probably prompted to do that.
Because it doesn't make any sense that you take a back road. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, I got about halfway home and I seen this amber light above the Waianae Mountains, right above where the naval battery base is.
Okay.
And so I was fascinated with it. It was just sitting above the mountain. So there was a turnout, and I pulled in there and got out, leaned on the hood, and I started watching this thing. Well, this thing started moving all over the place, zipping back and forth. It would blink out and then come on, but it'd be further down the mountain.
Okay.
And it was just doing all kinds of acrobatic stuff. And then it approached, it approached me, got pretty close. And that's when I started getting a little worried about it.
Yeah.
And so then it went back to the top of the mountain where I first saw it. And got in the truck and I just, I'm going to go home. So I drove on home.
Yeah.
When I got to the house, I went in the backyard thinking I could see it, but the rooftops of the other houses around my neighbors' houses were blocking the view of it.
Okay.
So I went in, got ready, went to bed. And as soon as I got in bed, I became paralyzed. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
And the blanket started to levitate off me. And through the bedroom door, these 6 little grays came in. And then I just very slowly levitated off the bed. And then they took me out through the living room and to the front door. And what's weird is I don't remember, all I can remember is just going through the door, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Like through the door, not open the door, but
No,
through the
not
door.
opening, but through it.
Yeah, through it. Yeah.
And
Okay.
and then we went out to the corner of the garage, and I was looking up because I was laying on my back as they were floating me out.
Yeah.
And I could see this walnut-shaped craft up above the house. And this beam of light came down, hit me, and I became vertical. And I rose up and entered into the bottom of this light, this craft. And the next thing I remember, I was laying on a metal table, and there was 6. They looked like grays, but they were taller than the ones that got me. The ones that took me out there was like 4 foot tall.
Okay.
These were like 6
Wow.
foot
Okay.
tall, and they were kind of a off-white color.
Okay.
And the little grays that took me out there, they had a bluish hue colored tint to them. They weren't, they were different from the normal gray colored grays.
Yeah.
And that's all I can remember of that. And then after a while, after looking in this, laying on this table in this round room, there was a big loud bang. And then I hit the floor right next to my bed. And I got up, stayed up, went back to bed after about an hour, and the same thing happened. As soon as I got in bed, I became paralyzed. I couldn't move. But this time I didn't see any grays come into the room. But I found myself laying on that darn metal table again in that round room.
Okay.
But there wasn't any other beings in there. It was just me by myself.
Okay.
And then there was a big loud bang again. And then I hit the floor a second time, and by my bed.
Wow.
And it was 6:45 a.m. in the morning. And when I got home, it was like 11:50.
Wow. So a long time.
And it only seemed like 2 or 3 seconds had passed is all in that time span.
Wow. Incredible.
But okay. I'm going to have to draw some more pictures. That's all I got for right now.
Okay. Do you happen to have a drawing that you've done that I can maybe do, and then we'll maybe close it down, and we'll do another one when you've got a little bit closer to the end, and then when your book is finally ready to go, maybe we can do one live where people can ask questions. We'll do it live on Facebook where you can get a big audience.
Yeah, sounds great. Let's see here. What kind of a picture do you want? One of my drawings?
You did some drawings of cartoon drawings. I remember you'd show.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm a cartoon fanatic. I'm an animaniac.
Yeah, you're and stuff. And I find this with a lot of experiencers have this ability. It's almost like they're artistic. They're creative.
Yeah.
It seems to be a part of the pattern that these are the people that are chosen. But a lot of people are very good.
You know what's weird is I never went to school for this.
Wow.
I've always been able to draw like this.
Wow.
Let's see here. Come on, open up, open up. There we go. Okay. Okay. Oh, here's one I drew.
Unbelievable. That's fantastic. Expand it up a
Yeah,
little bit, make it a
that,
little bit bigger.
that's done in pen and quill ink.
Unbelievable. I hope you're making sure these things survive too. I mean, these. You
Oh
got
yeah,
a book. You
they
have so
are.
many of these. Wow, this is fantastic.
If I have to send them to you, I'll just send them to you.
That's incredible talent. It's just like and I can put you in, you know, list the people that have unbelievable art abilities that are in this field. Look at that. Do you have a name for this? Is that a cat that you drew from?
Yeah, that's a cat I drew. I don't have a name for it.
Okay.
I
Wow,
think I could do better now, though.
that is stunning.
That's not the best. That's not the best. My
Keep
best
going.
work.
Show me some more. This is fascinating stuff.
Okay, let's see. Come on, open up. There's W.C. Fields. That's done in
Oh my goodness.
pink, pen and quill, ink.
Wow. How long would it take you to do something like that?
That took me, I think, 2 days.
Okay. That is
But that was
beautiful.
working on it constantly, day and night.
That is incredible, Ron.
And then
Absolutely
now
incredible.
some of my sketches. Let's see here. Okay, these are the ones I really like. Wrong one. Hang on. Get another. This is one I done free-handed.
That is incredible.
But I love doing this.
You're very good
It's
at it.
just I now taking this medication the doctor's given me, I'm having a hard time holding a pencil.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just I got a little bit of a shake, and it just I hope I can get over it by the time
Yeah.
I need these illustrations.
Are you going to try to draw LB?
I'm going to try and draw them.
Okay.
I've been trying to draw them, but like I say, my hands have
Good
been
handshake.
shaking.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, here's another one I drew.
Wow. Absolutely fantastic.
I got like 200 drawings,
Is that
all
right?
kinds of doodle sheets.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. Hang on. Where's that one? There's one. Okay, this guy here. This guy is hard to draw.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
That's incredible.
That one took me about a week to do.
That's incredible. Wow.
But
Especially for someone who's like me, who's not an artist, you wonder, like, how do you do that? It's like, wow.
But you know, when I was in grade school, the teachers would get mad at me all the time because I was always, instead of doing my work, I was always drawing. They'd get mad at me,
Wow.
make me stay after class and stuff, you know, and
Yeah.
they shouldn't do that. They should
Encourage the talent.
encourage them. Yeah.
Wow. Well, people are getting to see it, so it paid off. A lot of people will see these images that you've probably not shown to too many people.
Yeah. Yeah. I put them on Facebook once years ago. But, I'll have to put them back on there again.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about copyright.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these are,
Yeah.
you know, copyrighted.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
throw a couple more and then we'll shut down for today, and I'll let you get back because you probably, well, what's this?
That's my eyeball plant.
That is cool. Do you have an affinity to nature? Are you like,
Yes,
yeah, a lot of
absolutely.
experiences do.
Wildlife, deer especially. I don't know what it is. It's just deer and bears. And
Wow.
I had a lot of these dreams I've had uh, have animals in them, and
Okay.
the animals come and talk to me.
Okay.
I've had my totem animal is a bear,
Okay.
and I've had uh, problems with people and stuff before, and I would call them my totem animal, and they would show up in a dream
Okay.
and tell me not to worry about things. And
Wow. Beautiful.
in the and one time I had a bear show up. It was a female bear,
Okay.
and she told me that she was what we call an angel,
Okay.
and that they can appear in any form they want to a human.
Okay.
And but I've had quite a some pretty neat experiences with wildlife.
Wow.
I
That's in
was
the
up.
book. Is that in the book as well? Do you do?
It's going to be in the book. And one such incident was I was up the canyon up here where I live, taking pictures of trying to get pictures of deer.
Okay.
And I saw a small herd up on the side of the mountain.
Okay.
And so I just said, to heck with it, I'm going to try it. And I sent a telepathic message to them, asking if they could come down so I could take their picture.
Wow.
And I watched this one deer come out of the herd and hop down the side of the mountain, came down between two houses,
Yeah.
crossed the street,
Wow.
come across this field and came right up to me.
Wow.
And it was a 7-point buck, had 7 points on one side and 5 on the other.
Wow.
And he stood right there, and I said, in my mind, I says, don't panic. I just want to take your picture.
Yeah.
And so I took 3 pictures of him, and then I thanked him.
Wow.
And I said, God bless you. And the deer went around me and took off.
Wow. You get an incredible amount of stories. I'm looking forward to reading it, and I hope we get to see it soon. I mean, you're halfway through the book now, and
I'm about halfway through it. I would have probably been done with it by now if I hadn't kept deleting it and starting over again.
Oh, wow.
And then Mike Clellan is a good friend of mine.
Yeah, yeah.
And he told me, just write it out.
Yeah,
Don't
and then
worry about chapters or anything.
Yeah.
Do that later.
Yeah, exactly. You can edit it later.
Yeah.
Okay, final question. For people, what would you like to leave them as a message for what this is all about and why this is important?
A message would be, listen to your inner self. Don't worry about man, governments, stuff like that. There's going to be a better life when you're off this planet. This place is, to me, is like a prison. Meditate, get to know these beings, because they're here to help you. And hopefully my story will help somebody along their path, their life's path, I hope.
Wow.
It's the only thing I can.
Well, Ron, I want to thank you. As much trouble as the world is in, I'm honored to have heard your story, and the fact that it does give me some assurance that there are better times ahead, that there is something other than this sort of physical world that's all fighting with each other. I'm honored to have met you, honored to have heard your story, and I thank you very much for sharing with me today. And let me know how your health is, whether you can do another one down the road as you get closer to the end. because I think yours is an important story that people need to hear. And I really appreciate your taking time from working it diligently on your book to talk to me and to the people that I may be able to touch with this broadcast.
Okay, I appreciate it. I been trying to keep this by myself, not get it out, but it needs to get out.
Yeah. And I think people will benefit by this, because you have one of the more incredible stories in terms of contact that I've ever heard. And I've heard a lot of stories. So
yeah.
I really appreciate your sharing. So let's talk again. Let's stay in touch. And if you can sort of draw me the medallion, and I'll send you the material I have that I said would link up to the crystal, the medallion. I have some stories that will make you feel like, man, this is exactly what you experienced. So.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you,
right
Ron.
on it. Okay.
And happy Super Bowl. And thanks for giving us a Super Bowl of UFO stuff. I really appreciate it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
See
Have
ya.
a good day. Talk to you later.